Hey guys, welcome once again to the iHeartU King of the Hill. I'm Doa, that's Artosis, and today our reigning champion Xixo takes on MYM Skip. Kind of a face we haven't really heard a lot of before on iHeartU, on the King of the Hill and all that, but he comes with high recommendations.
That's right. I've heard that this guy is extremely good, and of course he's on MYM, a professional gaming team from many genres, and in fact that makes him even a teammate to our all-time champion, Tice.
That's true,
so,
yeah.
I'm sure Skip is quite good, and it should be a nice challenge here for Xixo.
Yeah, and the decks look cool going into this. We've got the Druid deck from Xixo, and I think this is the one that Colento just tweeted that he got to #1 on the ladder with. It's like a very new school Druid, Echoing Ooze, Spectral Knight, Kel'Thuzad. I haven't had a chance to play this one yet, but I really, really want to. It looks awesome.
Kel'Thuzad is insane. It is
really
insane, fun. Doa. It is crazy. It's the best 8-drop since Ragnaros.
I believe it, man.
You gotta try him out, and you'll see in this deck, like, he's amazing in Druid, and
oh yeah,
he's good. Just trust me on that. I've had some crazy games with that guy, but
well, just thinking about like what you could do with like Druid of the Claw in charge form and Kel'Thuzad, like that's a lot of good board clear right there.
Indeed, and
yeah.
I mean, look at this crazy deck overall. Like Shade of Noxeramus, Echoing Ooze, Spectral Knight, Kel'Thuzad. Yeah. This is a ton of new cards in here.
Here's a question. Now, tokens from Force of Nature, when Kel'Thuzad is out, they come back, don't they? Because they do die at the end of the turn, so you think they come back from Kel'Thuzad. I haven't tested this myself. Strictly speaking, I bet they would.
I guess, okay, no, I don't think so, because
well,
I haven't seen this.
The question is, which card effect happens first?
Yeah, the one that comes out first happens first.
Okay.
Right?
So then you would think that Kel'Thuzad would happen, then the minions would die, and they wouldn't come back.
That's why Sylvanas actually can be used nowadays, so...
I see. There you go.
Yeah, I think he would trigger before, because they both say at the end of the turn.
Oh, okay.
Unless you save 2 Innervates and play them both on the same turn.
Like I said, I haven't had time to play for a little while lately. I'm a little bit behind, so just kind of like musing about that. But let's talk about the Echoing Oozes over on the other side, kind of the next evolution of the Zoo deck. We've seen a lot of Nax cards put in here. Echoing Ooze, I mean, yeah, you compare it with stuff like Abusive Sergeants to get 2/3/2s, so there are plays in there. Dark Iron Dwarf, of course, Defender of Argus, Shattered Sun Cleric, and the thing is, a Shattered Sun Cleric is something that's kind of dropped out of Zoo for a little while, but now I think with Echoing Ooze, with Nerubian Egg, it's a good time to put it back in again.
I like this one, you know, it reminds me of the older aggro warlock decks with all the buff minions in there. So
it is. It seems a little bit quicker again.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna really work out very well with you know, Echoing Ooze as well as the Nerubian Eggs. So
yeah, interestingly enough, no power overwhelming in this deck too.
Yeah, it looks like he's really skipping that. Yeah, you know, that's kind of like an aggro card. It makes card disadvantage, and this deck doesn't look like it wants too much of that. It just wants to have value. These
days, too, I think if you're not running Void Tears, you're not probably going to be running Power Overwhelming either.
I have to agree with that, yeah. Well, I'm excited to see how these two decks actually match up.
Me too. Who do you think's going to take it? Who do you think has the edge here?
I think Xixo has the edge here, to be honest. I mean, I drew it against an aggro warlock type of, like a Zoo deck. He has a good amount of taunts. His minions are just kind of bigger and better. So as long as we don't see Skip just take the entire board early on, I think Xixo's favored.
I'd agree. I mean, that's generally how this matchup goes, is that if the Druid can survive the early game, if the Warlock doesn't get like a really godly hand right off the bat, usually the Druid can come out with more power later on. It's that whole rule of like the little bit slower deck usually wins. So we'll see what happens, guys. Game 1 between Xixo and Skip here on the iHeartU King of the Hill. It's a best of 7 to see who comes out on top. Let's get in the game. Alright guys, here we go. Game number 1, Xixo versus Skip, Druid versus Warlock, and we'll see who comes out on top. The starting hand's actually pretty decent for Skip, and let's see how it goes for Xixo. Alright, actually not too bad. A little bit better for Skip, I think, though.
Yeah, you know,
the Soulfire hurts a bit, though.
Pretty darn solid, but you know, at least he does have his Echoing Ooze, and he does have that Wrath over there in Xixo's hand, so we'll see how that goes for him.
Yeah.
Now, I'm excited to see these Echoing Oozes, man. This is like really cool that this card is just popping up all over the place right now.
I think this is a really good card against Zoo as well, too. Yeah. I mean, you can pair the damage with a lot of other things to get rid of early Voidwalkers, stuff like that. So, just in general, I mean, 2 mana for 2/1/2s is great value, and we're going to see Skip play his as well.
Yeah, and in fact, take a look at this. This plus hero power, this plus the Wrath, he can do a lot. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, you can take out that Squire, no problem. You can take out one of the oozes if you desires. There's a lot you can do from Druid here at this point. Yep, and there's a hero power.
Well, this is definitely going to allow him to control this board a little bit better, but against 2 Echoing Oozes of his opponent, he's gonna get really cleaned out. This is so funny just watching all these oozes on the board.
I don't know, man. It's the question of who can abuse the ooze.
Abuse the ooze.
Yeah,
well, he's gonna lose an
way.
ooze in a second here.
He can actually clear both oozes and keep both of his alive with this.
Yeah.
This is pretty good, and this is the type of start you need to have if you're gonna play Zoo against a mid-rangey druid like this.
Yeah, and now looking at the hands from this spot, this is pretty tough for Xixo. Like,
yeah, it is.
Does he develop the board with another minion, or does he use Wrath? He plays a minion, which makes a lot of sense based on his high life total.
Especially when you think about the minion that it is, too.
Yeah.
Ooh, another Echoing Ooze comes out though. For Skip, I don't think you're going to play it this turn, though. Maybe you do. It depends on if he wants to pair it. Yeah, I would rather use a defender instead. I think it's a bit too greedy to use the ooze right now.
Yeah, I do have to agree with you there. It's
yeah.
leave the ooze in hand at the moment. You don't need to fill the board that much with 1/2s and whatnot. This is a strong play though.
Well, yeah, Zoo relies on getting that big board advantage, so that's what you do. You just keep trying to grow that board, and there's a force of nature forcing that one out early, but
yeah.
he does have 2 of them in the deck, so it's not that bad. The kind of crappy part is that he had to use Innervate to do it, so that's a card gone that he could use later, but pretty good board clear overall.
Yeah, I would say so. I like that
Not
move
bad.
to be able to clear the board. He sells a couple minions out here, so that's nice as well.
Good draw for the Mortal Coil. Oh, nice. He gets a Void Walker as well. I would clear it. Yeah. Would I? Maybe I wouldn't. Actually,
I think for sure
29
you're
health.
play the Nerubian Egg. The thing is,
Definitely.
he's worried about that possibly getting like a buff or something. I think it's totally okay to clear it because if you look at like how many cards that he has in his life total and his mana, like
I think too.
he just plays board control for now. Just kill everything that comes out.
Yeah, I think it would have been fine either way, really. There's a 4/6 taunt, of course, but Soulfire in the hand, and he can even play both cards before doing it. So yeah, he's going to clear this board again, no problem.
Yeah,
Wow.
I do expect to see exactly that, and just of course run this 2/2 Argus in.
You know, the thing with like Echoing Ooze and Nerubian Egg and stuff like that Zoo has these days, it's really reduced the effectiveness of a swipe. You know, you're just not going to kill much with it anymore.
It's very true.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
So it looks like he will go ahead and use that. Throw down a life tap as well.
Yeah, Mortal Coil.
Oh.
You know, he could actually hit it with one of the uses and then Mortal Coil for another card. I'd be
that's good.
really tempted,
Yeah, I think the Mortal Coil right now doesn't have a ton of value, so...
Yeah, you want to try to build up
that's
the hand.
That's really nice, and it continues to push forward that damage. Look at how strong this board is.
Yeah, and again, like, this is kind of a return to, like, the old Zoo that we know and love. You know, it's just really fast board building. Lately, it's been, you know, really combo-based with the Nerubian Eggs and things like Power Overwhelming and Void Terror and all that, but this is, like, a return to the roots for a Zoo.
Well, let's see what he ends up getting to do here. Wow.
More damage? I think that's going to be the answer there.
Solid hand, man.
Yeah.
I think he's considering here, does he kill off his Nerubian Egg?
I would go for the 4/4 because then when you have 2 4/4s out, then that really makes swipe worthless if your opponent draws it.
Well, looks like he will go for that.
Yeah.
And, we'll see what he runs into it. Maybe the ooze, and he probably wants to kill the token as well with this Void Walker.
Yeah, I would say just get rid of everything you possibly can. Yeah.
Looks like he's going to throw down the Haunted Creeper.
I'd play it. You know, again, something that is swipe-proof and relatively wrath-proof as well.
Yeah, do you attack that? Yeah, it looks like it. I do agree with that. I think that's a good move.
It's not something that I think is absolutely vital, but when you've got such a strong board already, you might as well just keep it clear. Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to see some ooze action here. Ooze plus Argus.
I think
pretty
so.
Solid.
Yeah, so what would that give him? That would give him a couple
2/3
2/3s. Yeah, a couple
and
2/3
regular
taunts.
2/3.
That's true, yes. So it's a decent board. Not too bad. Let's see, it's still something that's going to be pretty easily dealt with by Skip, especially if he draws into like a Doomguard or something good. Shattered Sun Cleric works as well.
Yeah, not too bad.
More buffing, wow. Oh, and Direwolf Alpha, jeez.
Talk about having everything you need.
No kidding. Well, there's ways he can get rid of those taunts without even getting his 4/4s involved, and I'd be really tempted to do it that way just to get the max damage on my opponent.
I think that using Shattered Sun Cleric probably on this 1/2 Spider and throwing the Wolf down right there, that's a great way to clear both of them.
Absolutely, I was thinking the same thing.
Yep, and...
actually, you have to use it on the Voidwalker, don't you, if you want to get 2/3 damage.
No, because if you attack with the 3/2, it dies.
Oh yeah, it'll move over.
And then,
Duh.
give it to the Spider, I would say.
No, you're right.
Okay, it looks like he actually wants to give it the Voidwalker, which means he'll clear with one of the 4/4s, I believe.
Well, the thing is, he's going into an 8-mana turn. He's already seen his opponent use an Innervate, and he only has 2 cards in his hand, and he's already not going to die to combo, even if there is no taunt. So
yeah. Well, he is going to do what I was
okay.
talking about. Yeah, I like this one more, to be honest, because this leaves a
safer.
taunt up, and it deals a ton of damage to your opponent. Like, how do you ever clear this board? This is a very difficult board to get rid of.
Yeah, and look at this. He's just going to continue to clear the minions. This game is over, man. There's like no way that Xixo can come back. Even Lotheb, even the mighty Lotheb isn't enough to take game 1. He's going to draw a couple more cards, but again, with 1 mana, that's it. There's a concede, and Skip takes game 1. Alright guys, well Skip takes game 1 with Aggro Warlock, but Xixo decides he wants to fight fire with fire, or rather Zoo versus Zoo. It's like Animal Farm, only like much more aggressive and much less political, because we've got the exact same Zoo decks going against each other. Do decks. Do Zoo. There's the motto of like every Warlock player.
Do Zoo, actually, that's something to say right now. The fact that
Put
Xixo
that on a t-shirt, man.
Yeah, this is super risky by Xixo.
It is.
Like, if you use the exact same deck, you're either saying, well, I'm a much better player, or let's see what the draws are like.
Well, that's the thing, is that when you have a mirror matchup like this, and really this kind of applies to like any game, any esport really, the little advantages become much bigger, because when you've got the same things to draw from, you can snowball that edge much easier.
Well, we'll see what the draws are like, because, you know,
it's a lot of it's
if
going to
Skip
come down
just
to
gets
that.
like a better start, then Six is going to be like, oh, well, that sucks.
It's like, well, there goes my Zoo deck. Oh well.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, I applaud Xixo for his bravery. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. All right. I think we don't really need to talk about this deck anymore.
Not a lot, man.
I think
Zoo
it's
versus
time.
Zoo. That's right. Let's get into game 2. Alright, it's time, guys. Game number 2. It's all Zoo in game 2.
Yeah, and it looks like Xixo did not properly record this game, so I guess we're going to be playing just from Skip's hand here.
I think so, and I mean, the thing is because of Skip's hand and because of seeing everything, we know what's in Six's deck anyway, so it actually doesn't matter. Like, if any game was going to be like this, this is the game, where both players are using the exact same deck. We'll see how identical the hands end up being. You know, this hand it's kind of an awkward one to get, actually. This is a tough choice, because you have the coin, but you have to choose. You know, what 2 drops do you get rid of? I think you do throw back the Nerubian Egg.
I like this.
You need to get a fast start in the mirror, so I think that was a perfect mulligan.
If he coins out Echoing Ooze, for instance, he can then go directly into the Direwolf Alpha.
Yeah.
So that's like two power minions on turn 2, and that's pretty insane.
Yep, I agree. Flame Imp comes out, and I would still go for the Ooze. I mean, there's not really a reason not to. You get 2 minions to their 1, and then you can kind of build from there.
And the thing is, even if he runs into it with his 3/2, you have your guy to actually kill it. So it's
yeah,
no big
exactly.
deal.
Yep,
and if he plays the Voidwalker, you just use your Abusive to get rid of it. It's just like, it's pretty neat.
And anything else he plays, you can just put the Direwolf Alpha between them, and then you've got 2 damage minions. So there's very few ways this can work out badly if he coins out the Ooze. We'll see if he does it. Yeah, I think he really should. He really should.
I guess the only other play that you could do here...
You could just do the Abusive, yeah.
Yeah, the Abusive actually works, because this is a 2/1 that you don't... Like, you don't want to run this guy into it. And
yeah, of course.
Similarly to what we were talking about before, like, if a Voidwalker comes out, you just buff this guy a little bit.
You know, that's the thing, though. This exact situation is why I was about to say this is what I would be worried about, because we know there's 2 Mortal Coils in these decks, and if you have 2 Oozes, you don't have to worry about that. So now, it's like another turn that he has to take this 3 damage, because there's no way to stop it this time.
Certainly. That is a bit annoying, and, you know, I guess he can't know for sure that it's... this exact deck, because some decks, like a couple weeks ago, a lot of Zoo decks were not using Mortal Coils anymore.
The Void Terror one wasn't, I really don't see a reason why you wouldn't play Echoing Ooze here. Anything else you play is just going to die.
Yeah.
There you go. Easy choice.
Well, let's go ahead and see what he's going to go with his opponent, that is Xixo, on his turn here. He's got a very nice start going for him, but this hand for Skip looks a lot better than the no hand that I see up top.
Yeah. That's true. Well, like any hand that we can actually see is going to look better than a hand we can't see. But we'll have to see what Xixo has to augment his Flame Imp and his Voidwalker. Nerubian Egg, okay. So does he have like an Abusive? He does. Okay, so a little bit more damage. He can get rid of one of the minions if he wants to. Yeah, and he's actually just going to clear
Very
the board.
nice.
So smart, man.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
play
Oh,
here.
nice draw though by Skip. That was just like the draw. So I would say here you do that on the Voidwalker, see what you draw, and then probably play another ooze in my
Flame
opinion.
Imp.
Oh, Flame Imp, yeah, Flame Imp, yeah.
Yeah,
Not the Voidwalker.
I think you're basically right about that.
Yeah.
Like, what is he gonna do? Kill one of your 1/2s with his 2/1?
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't seem that exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have to agree with you. Use that Mortal Coil right now. That 3/1, you don't want to leave him out.
Mm-hmm.
And funny as it is, even though Six
know-
has controlled everything this game, they're still at the same life total.
Here's the thing, though. You could make an argument for Knife Juggler into Coin Ooze, because you would get 2 knives, and if you got lucky,
Oh.
that could work too, but I think I would go for the safer play, which is Immortal Coil, and then get 2 of my own minions out, just because you can pair it so well with Direwolf Alpha, with Shattered Sun Cleric, with whatever you end up
Yeah.
drawing. I think the Mortal Coil play is the better one here.
I have to agree with you, and imagine if those 2 eggs hit that egg.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
those 2 knives
exactly,
hit that egg.
exactly,
That'd
yeah.
be so funny.
So that's a thing. Oh, no, he's thinking about it. I know.
No, it's reasonable, because
It is.
if he hits
It's
the
reasonable.
3/1 or the 2/1, it's a good play.
It's reasonable, but even me, I'm like the most risky aggro player in the world, and if I say it's like too risky, it's probably too
Yeah.
risky.
Well, looks like he's going to go ahead and play exactly that move.
Yeah, and he drew a
Previously
Soulfire, which is going to be great if he ever has to deal with that 4/4 coming out of the Nerubian Egg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and gets 2 1/2s on the board. I think that was a perfectly fine turn.
Certainly. Well, let's go ahead and see what Six is going to have planned for him here. Ooh,
Oh, wow.
very nice.
Yep, that's not bad at all. And now he'll just go ahead and attack through, I guess. Yeah, not even worrying about that second
Yeah.
ooze. I'm a little bit surprised about that. I think it would have been okay to trade the 2/1 for the 1/2.
I
Yeah.
think I would have done that as well.
Yeah.
But you know what? This is like more damage. Make him attack into you. Make him play a buff minion here. Because if you look at the buff minions he could play to actually threaten any of your minions, that's the only thing he could get out this turn.
You know, the other thing too is that he has tempo right now. He's in a situation where Skip is the one who needs to deal with his minions rather than the other way around. And when you're running low on cards, you do want to keep as many minions on the board as you can. So I think there's a really strong argument for him deciding to just attack phase 2.
Yeah. Well, let's
Oh,
take a look
Shattered
here.
Sun Cleric.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not surprised about this. He's got to take out that Voidwalker, I would say.
Yep, goes
Yeah,
ahead
this-
and does it on the ooze.
Thing is, this is still a little bit scary here. If you look at it, right? Like, we have this 1/3 that could run into some of these minions and start to kill itself a bit.
Yeah.
And a 4/4 is going to pop out shortly thereafter, so...
Yeah, I think the big thing is that he's got a pretty solid turn next turn with Knife Juggler into Direwolf Alpha into possibly whatever else he draws. So with the stuff he's got on the board, depending on what Six has got in his hand, I'd say Skip has a pretty good chance to take board control, but we'll see. We'll see, because again, we have no idea what Sixa has, so it's tough to predict this one.
Alright, well, that is the case.
Yep, another ooze. Does he have something to pair with this?
Could we have a buff with this? He does have 3 mana if he has Shattered Sun Cleric. Oh, no, never mind.
No. Direwolf Alpha? He does, but he doesn't put it next to the ooze. He decides to go with the egg.
Well, I mean, there's no real reason to put it next to Ooze right now. I like this. You know, he gets to attack a little bit. He's got this 2/1 taunt right now. That's going to be a pain to get rid of correctly. And
Yeah, this is a Doomguard, a little bit late to the party. Fortunately, not going to be a huge help right
I think
now.
he can. I think he has to discard the Doomguard. I think he has to go Knife Juggler Direwolf to build the board.
I agree.
See what the knife hits. Attack into this egg. And Soulfire the 4/4 that comes out. I think that's the play he kind of has to go with. Now, if the
I agree.
knife were to hit the egg, that is fantastic, right? Like, because
Yeah,
yeah,
it
I
is
would
because
say-
he can still get his egg pop as well. He can still get his own 4/4 and kill his opponents
Oh,
with
actually-
Soulfire. So
yeah, I would
it's
say
okay.
actually the best knife would be on the 1/1. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just get rid of the Divine Shield.
Yeah, and well,
Alright.
it's that whatever. It's all good.
He's gonna get another knife. We'll see where it goes.
The worst knife target possible.
Yeah.
I think you have to Soulfire this.
I
I don't
agree,
think
man.
Doomguard is good enough
Well, if you
to
look
take
at
that 5.
Look at the amount of damage that's on the board right now for Sixa. It's like,
a lot.
I know, yeah, 11, 12, 13 damage on the board right now. That's like over half the health, or like nearly half the health of his opponent. Over half the health? Yeah,
and he
over
can
half the
clear
health.
this board
My math is
so
great.
quickly as well. And in fact, he still will. Just that Direwolf Alpha is so insane with these oozes. It's insane with these oozes.
He might just end the turn here, though, because getting a 5/7 out on the board, you know, he knows he can, you know, is still good. But the thing is he can't do both Doomguard and Soulfire, that I would say this is like playing for the win. You know, if he keeps trying to sustain, he's going to keep falling farther behind, but still, this
the thing is I see an easy clear
too much.
on board for his whole board, which leaves out a 5-3 and a 2-2.
That's what you get. And does he have his own Soulfire, possibly?
Yeah.
I bet he does.
That's the only way he would have
does.
played it like that, I think.
Yep. Okay. Is he actually just going to face? No, he is. I was wondering. The arrow was like pointing at the
arrows
hero
are
for a
weird
second.
Nowadays,
yeah.
Since the last few patches, they don't really tell you the story.
You know, I felt like it was fixed for a little while, but now it seems like it's a little bit erratic. So I think you just play the Soulfire and cross your fingers. Oh, he loses a Doomguard. Let's see what he gets with his. Oh, he's just going to concede. He gets nothing.
Right
all right,
call.
that's it. Yeah. Okay, so we're all tied up. Xixo takes game 2. Alright guys, time to go into game number 3. We're all tied up right now. The Zoo deck for Xixo was superior apparently, and Skip has decided to bring out Miracle Rogue, and it's called Standard Miracle, but it's actually a little bit not so standard. No Assassin's Blade, but this time the big change is he's got a shade of Naxxramas in there, which when you think about it, makes a lot of sense in Miracle.
It really does. You're going to have to use AoE to get rid of it, AoE that you may want to be saving for a Gadgetzon that's concealed, so kind of a cool little addition there. It definitely is another threat for the deck that could end up doing a lot of damage.
I agree.
Like, think about that. Like, for instance, against a warrior deck, right? They have to use a brawl to get rid of this.
Yep, that's right.
And if they have to use their brawl that early on, that's an issue. So I really like the add of this card.
You generally have to use AoE in general to get rid of something like that. So you just put it down early, let it build up. I mean, if you think about it, it builds up after 3-4 turns or so. Suddenly it's a 6-6 or a 7-7, and then that's like the damage you need to go for a little bit earlier of a Leroy combo, maybe.
Sure.
So I'm really curious to see how this is going to work.
This could speed it up a whole turn sometimes.
It could, yeah. It could actually.
Like, I'm trying to think, this is actually, I like that ad. Other than that, it's a very standard Miracle. It looks like any list anyone's played. But yeah, that's one very cool change.
Now, it does look like Assassin's Blade was taken out to fit that in. And so that part of it does worry me just a little bit, because I feel like Assassin's Blade has generally a little bit more utility. But the flip side of that is right now we're seeing a meta where there's a lot of Harrison Jones, there's a lot of Ooze, so I think it's much safer to play Shade for that damage.
And I think that they do almost the same thing. Like, the Assassin's Blade is generally for additional damage versus something that either gains life or makes a bunch of armor like Warrior, so this kind of does the same thing. I mean, if this gives you, as you were saying, like 6 extra damage, that's normally enough to push through the Miracle.
I think it's a good little meta tweak, and we'll see how it works out. Again, there's only one in the deck, so we might not see it at all. But, you know, as far as the matchup goes, Miracle can beat anything, but then again, so can Zoo. So, yeah, I feel like we're in that situation where this one still could really go either way.
Yeah, you've got to favor the Miracle, but definitely you're right. Like, this Zoo deck is pretty scary stuff, and if it gets a blazing start, who knows what'll happen.
You can favor anything against Zoo right up to the point where Zoo gets a really good hand on turn 1, and then it's like, well, suddenly Zoo is favored against everything. So we'll see what happens. We'll see who takes the lead in Game 3 of the I Heart You King of the Hill. I think it's time to get in the game. Alright, welcome back, guys. We're all tied up 1-1 in the I Heart You King of the Hill. Xixo versus Skip, Warlock versus Rogue. And I really want to see the Shade of Naxxramas, man. I hope he draws it.
Yeah, that would be really cool to see. So far, his hand looks pretty darn good. 2 backstabs and an Edwin. He can make a 6-6 Edwin on turn 2 after killing a minion. And Xixo's hand sucks.
It does.
This is a terrible, terrible hand.
Oh, wow, and it just got worse.
worse.
I'm just calling it Skip. GG, he wins. Good job.
Dude, it's already favored for him, so the fact that it looks like this is like, I feel like it's almost like a free win.
It's going to be weird for Skip, because he's going to see this Knife Juggler come out, he's going to kill it, and then there's going to be nothing, and he's going to be like, what? Why is my opponent playing anything?
Yeah, it's actually, that's so bad, he's going to have to life tap.
Yeah, now I would be tempted to actually backstab and then coin out Van Cleef right here just to get the 6-6. Yeah.
Oh, dude, a 6-6 right now against that slow to start, like a turn 2 Knife Juggler is a terrible start.
He's got Earthen Ring Farseer coming next turn. Even a 3-3 is strong against Zoo. Like, how in the world? He's got a Soulfire, and that's not even enough.
Oh,
even Soulfire plus Haunted Creeper isn't enough.
This, oh, God, he could
Wow.
even erase all the little token dudes if he wants.
I would be so tempted, but then again, I think I would be really tempted to just get 6 damage done to face as well, with only 1 damage on the board.
Thing is, you gotta remember also, there's like a lot of
buffing
in
Yep,
here, and
that is true.
Like he could lose his dude if he doesn't deal with this.
I think he will, because obviously the Dark Iron Dwarf is going to come out, and then the Soulfire probably, but...
Well, it looks like he just wants to populate the board. The thing is, I think it's hard for him to do anything that's going to get him behind here.
Yeah.
But he will end up losing this 6/6.
Luckily, he does have that Fan of Knives, though. So the Fan of Knives is also going to reduce the Dark Iron Dwarf to a 4/3, so he's actually still going to be able to clear the board with this.
That's quite true.
Yeah.
So, you
So
know,
no
I
worries.
guess it's... some things are going better for Xixo now, right? Like,
Yeah.
the board is going to basically be cleared here.
Mhm.
He's going to be able to get a Doomguard next turn.
Yeah.
And that's nice. That's actually very hard to deal with. Imagine if he just, after a start like that and a bad hand like Xixo had, if everything goes wrong, how sad would that be?
I would really consider sapping that Doomguard, too, when it comes down, because you want them to discard whatever they draw, you know? Because at least then you can guarantee you're only dealing with the Doomguard.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
He's not going to do any less damage if he lives.
But that's
you know?
still 5. Yeah, that is true. Like that's at least like a somewhat worthwhile play.
It's a way to make sure whatever he draws isn't going to hit the board.
Yeah.
Unless he doesn't play the Doomguard, and in that case, you still win, you know?
Let's see. He's actually
Life
going to go
tap.
ahead and...
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it makes sense he wants to get a few minions out. He can play the Doomguard a bit later.
I think this is a bit smarter, yeah.
As far as discard cards in his deck, there's not a whole lot left, right? There's one
Right.
Soulfire left, so the Doomguard isn't going to go anywhere
Oh,
anytime
wow.
soon.
There's the Auctioneer. He's got a backstab. This turn could really go off.
Let's see.
Yeah. Either way, reduces that to 1 damage if he draws a prep. Shaded Naxxramas. Okay,
Cool.
so, you know, not the biggest turn ever.
Do you Shadow Step this? I think he's considering it.
I would be really tempted to leave it out, just because it's always so nice to have something on the board, and he already saw one Soulfire, so if his
And a
opponent...
Doomguard discarded from it.
Yeah, so if his opponent uses another one, then that means that he gets a ton of stuff. But look at this, Doomguard goes down, and so you've got this to deal with, yeah, but at the same time, you're still probably feeling okay as Skip because your opponent has no cards in your hand. Wow, and you just draw Van Cleef too. Not Van Cleef, Leroy.
Yeah,
What am I thinking?
I think here it's either Shade Naxxramas and your 1/1, or well, I guess you could dagger up. Actually, that makes some sense as well.
Yeah.
Although I also kind of do like playing the Blood Mage just to cycle him because the hand isn't really that good.
I agree. Dark Iron Dwarf, and see, this is why I kind of advocate sapping the Doomguard, because then you don't have to worry about stuff like this. And look, he's actually going to get Defender of Argus, man. This is getting a little bit rough now. Yeah, that's why, like, and I don't know if this is totally the right decision every time, but usually in this situation, I prefer sapping the Doomguard. Just because I like making them discard more or play something different.
This is a tough spot he's in right now.
Yeah, what do you do here? Let's see. You know, now, you know, if you wait a turn, sapping the Doomguard ends up being not that good, because now they have more mana to play something else first before they play it again. Let's see what he has.
What about, like...
20 health.
I feel like you might want to kill the Doomguard because you're getting a little bit low in health. It might be worth it to just waste your Shade, because you do have Leroy and a Shadow Step. Okay, he is going to go ahead and sap it.
Yeah.
So maybe with this, the Lotheb, but he could use SI7 Agent, and he has this Blood Mage as well. Now, do you hit the 3/3 into the 2/3?
Yeah, I would say so, because you don't want to give
so.
them the chance of buffing anything.
Yeah.
Because again, with the very few cards they have in their hand, you know, he does have Leroy Shadow Step though, so if you can burst him down to 12, I guess, but I would still, being only at 20 health, I would still lean towards killing the 2/3.
You know one of the cards in his hand, right? And this isn't a very bursty deck. I think actually going to face here is really good, because with 12 damage in hand, this is like a possible lethal next turn.
Possibly.
Like, yeah. So I actually quite like this, and throwing down the Blood Mage just for extra damage plus a possible card draw.
Well,
I
we'll
really
see what
like
he gets.
Yeah.
See
I
what
like
he
this
draws.
play. Ooh, and that's not, you know, these are not what he's looking for, basically.
Not exactly. You do have to be a little bit worried going into turn 8 against a Miracle Rogue without lethal the turn before. There's the Doomguard, so he will lose that Dark Iron Dwarf.
And at least he's clearing stuff, though, right? And look at this. This is actually lethal. Still.
Yep.
Even though he cleared both these, because he life tapped, now he can go ahead, Shadow Step Leroy.
Yep.
He has the
weapon up.
1/1, and yeah, that's
That's enough damage, yeah.
Dagger.
Weapon up, and then you Leroy Shadow Step for 12.
All
and that is it, man. Miracle Rogue doing what Miracle Rogue is made to do.
Indeed.
We did see the Shade of Naxxramas. It was helpful.
Yeah, no, it was totally a good card. I really like this Miracle deck here.
It's pretty neat. There it is, GG, and Skip is going to take the lead, 2-1. Alright guys, it's time for game number 4 between Xixo and Skip, and it looks like Xixo's deciding to bring out the Shaman deck to try to tie things up a little bit, and it's pretty much your standard Shaman across the board. The only difference is that we have the addition of this Undertaker, which I think is kind of a cool little tweak to it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's in there over where an Argent Squire normally is, and
Makes sense.
it has kind of the same survivability, and there's 4 Death Rattle minions in here, so pretty solid, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a good chance to buff it. I mean, Argent Squire has that Divine Shield, but, you know, you kind of need something like a Flame Tongue Totem to make it stronger than just a 1/1, whereas Undertaker, you've got a couple other options to buff not only the attack, but also the health, too. So, I kind of like it. I like the change. I hope we get to see it.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty excited to see this go down. I think that right now Shaman decks are a good idea because they're going to do pretty well overall against things like Zoo decks. You know, they have so much AoE, so much removal and whatnot, but against a Miracle deck, it's a little bit tougher. Like, I feel like Xixo's having a hard time. Like, he already maybe has used up some of the decks that he wants.
I think he's definitely saving something so that if he ends up losing this game, he's going to come out with a deck that he thinks he can win multiple games with. And I think right now Shaman is solid, like you said, but I wonder what his final deck is, because I've got a feeling it's going to be something that's probably a little bit more consistent overall than we see Shaman be these days.
It might be.
It's interesting.
So, I guess let's see if he can maybe pull this one off. I do have to side with Skip, though. I feel like he's the favorite.
I agree. I think Miracle's generally pretty favored versus Shaman, but you never know. Any given Hearthstone game, right? So we'll see if Xixo can tie it up, make it a 2-2 game, or if Skip will take the win. Go up 3-1. Let's find out. Alright, game 4 time between Xixo and Skip. Xixo trying to tie things up and make it 2-2 in this best of 7 on the iHeartU King of the Hill. And he's trying to do it with Shaman, which is normally not the strongest choice versus Miracle Rogue, but who knows? You never know when you're going to start rolling Taunt Totems, man. It can work.
Yeah, there's a few ways. Maybe Miracle gets a little bit of a slow draw. Maybe you get a good aggressive draw. We'll see what he can get done with it.
Skip does have a pretty slow draw starting off with.
He certainly does. Just minions here, and that's definitely something that Shaman decks are good at dealing with.
I would say so. Another turn pass, and I would say just go ahead and armor up here, or not armor up, hero ability. I feel like every hero ability is armor up. I'm playing too much warrior these
armor
days.
Pass. It's
armor pass, yeah, that's right. He's gonna attack. I guess it's not quite armor pass, but it's about as close as rogues can get.
Yeah. Well, probably gonna throw down. Yep, the Harvest Golem. Gonna come down here. No real way to deal with that at the moment, so.
No, not really.
Kind of an annoying situation here for poor Skip. I'm feeling pretty good about Xixo's situation. Wow, that's not the draw he's looking for.
Not so much. He gets to play the SI7 agent as just a 3/3, which is kind of rough because you're really worried about Lightning Bolt if you're Skip right now, man. I would be really worried about Lightning Bolt.
He has Lightning Bolt in hand, though, so.
I know, yeah, and this is why you should be worried about Lightning Bolt, because you might get Lightning Bolted.
And look at this. He is going to go ahead and Lightning Bolt and attack for 4 here. Putting down this totem so he can actually get more damage done. And the thing is, do you kill that, or do you kill the Harvest Golem? Because the Harvest Golem will still be attacking for 4 if you do kill it.
Oh man, another Shadow Step too. Skip's hand is just really bad this game.
Yeah.
There's just nothing he can do. I mean, all he can do is like play Blood Mage Thalnos and just get a new weapon or something. Yeah, because I mean, there's really, well, there is, nothing else that he can do.
There's nothing he can do here. This hand is really, really bad. But you know, this happens sometimes with Miracle. The deck is super consistent, super powerful, but occasionally you get a draw like this where you're like, well, you know, I guess that's it. I guess I lose.
Even the best decks can draw dead. And he's hoping that his opponent takes out this Blood Mage Thalnos. He's hoping that he doesn't Earth Shock him and that he can draw a card and get back into things. But I think we're just going to see more totems. Yep. Wonder if he's going to Rock Biter to take out Thalnos. Looks like he is.
It's a good choice. You don't want something like a Fan of Knives coming down and ruining your day.
Yeah, exactly. You want to keep that Flame Tongue Totem alive especially. You know, and it's already taken 1 damage, so you don't have to worry about backstab, which is awesome.
Oh, look at this. He's got 6 damage on the board, and it looks like the best that can be done here is probably a Shiv attack into that, and then
Shiv
drop
attack.
his 3/3.
Shiv attack and then heal, yeah. And at least he'll be able to heal a little bit. So it is.
Yeah.
It's not a bad turn. It's good sustain. I think he'd still play the Earthen Ring here.
Yeah, I would definitely say so.
Yeah.
He's considering, though, maybe throwing down a different minion so you can... You know, the nice thing about this 3-3 is if it doesn't die, you can always Shadow Step it later for a bunch of life gain.
Right, exactly.
But we'll see about that.
He just needed some sort of board position. So now his opponent's at a point where, you know, you really have to be careful, you know, not to play anything that gives you overload. You want to be able to play that turn 6 Fire Elemental, and Lotheb fits into that so nicely against Miracle Rogue.
Yeah, that's well said. Like this, the thing is, there's not really spells in his opponent's hand, so
I know. Yeah,
he doesn't actually mind about this, but that definitely was a very good play.
Oh well, there's the backstab. Yeah, that actually did end up working out pretty well.
It certainly did.
Now, would you go ahead and trade with the Harvest Golem here? I think I still would. You have to get some stuff off the board.
Certainly, I do agree with that. And you don't care if he's at 1 health or 3 health really all that much.
Oh yeah, yeah. That 2 damage is not going to make the biggest difference at the end of the day when you're looking at your opponent's board like that. So a 3-1 and a 4-4 out there. And so, let's see. This is kind of interesting, actually, because...
I think at 28 health, I think you Fire Elemental the 3-1 and go to face with the 5-5.
Yeah, I agree. You know, wow, he's going to Lightning Storm. Okay.
Okay, well, that means he's going to go for the Wolves as well.
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, it will prevent any damage from happening to him.
It's a lot of overload, though.
And you know what? I guess, you know, he's struggled to take care of this 5-5 so far, but...
You know, to be fair, I mean, Deadly Poison, Weapon, Blade Flurry is really the only big concern for Xixo right now, and his opponent has a big hand, but I think it's something that it's unlikely enough that you can't really play around it.
Well, this is a little bit rough. Yeah, he's got to do what he can do here.
You know, it's too bad he's not able to play that Van Cleef.
Do you prep out this Deadly Poison to kill the 2-3?
At this point in the game, I'd be tempted because you never know when another Flame Tongue Totem's coming down.
I would that bad of a spot that, you know, but looks like he wants to save it for now. Don't forget, he has double Shadow Step in Leroy, so there's actually, like, that's 18 plus 4, so that's 22 he could do next turn.
You gotta be careful with Miracle Rogue, that's for sure.
It's pretty crazy, but he's going so low on health. It's absolutely brutal.
Conceal's not the most helpful card here right now.
No.
Let's see what he gets with the Auctioneer. He could have a couple nice draws, but he's going to need to really draw into like a Blade Flurry or something. There's a prep, so he's going to be able to keep it going.
Preps are good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fan of Knives.
Hey,
all
we're
right.
getting there. We're getting there.
He's got spell power, so this is actually pretty decent, I think, right now.
Yeah, it doesn't do, like, the most right this second, but he can definitely draw, like, for instance, if he draws into... Oh, okay. I was going to say, if he draws into, you know, the Blade Fury, that's gigantic. And, in fact, that's a very good draw right there as well, and he's got a prep.
Eviscerate totally works, man. Yeah, because he can go ahead and prep Eviscerate this Lotheb, and he can still kind of try for something else, too, but I think Eviscerate is good enough.
Yeah, and you know what? He can still conceal as well. This is
great turn.
A little bit crazy, and in fact, he has a decent chance to win next turn.
He actually does, yeah.
Xixo is going to do here. I think Alakir is going to have to come down.
I think so, yeah. You definitely need the taunt, but unfortunately his opponent has a sap. So let's assume for a second that Alakir gets played. I think
he's still but he's at 9, play. So
yeah.
8. 11.
Let's see.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's still win, isn't it?
He's got 11 damage on the board, so
and then he
will
can
be down to 7.
More.
Yep, so that's right. So 11 plus 12
23. It's not enough. So he actually needs to get something else here.
I guess so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? He has this backstab. He can draw a card off of that rather easily.
I would
so he needs the double Leroy, so he can only spend 1 mana this turn. Because that's 18, and then he has 10 more, like... But he's already used his prep, so actually he might just straight up be dead.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, his opponent's Doomhammer's coming through. He can't... I don't think
because this one is only playing 1 Earthen Ring. So he can't even gain...
Blade Flurry's not enough.
No.
Shouldn't be enough.
Oh!
Wait, if he Blade Flurries... No, it's still the 7 mana
still
situation
barely not enough.
12. Yeah, I think it was close.
Oh god, yeah, it's 1 health off of killing that thing.
I think it was close, but I don't think he quite has it.
I think you're right about that, Doa.
Yep.
And in fact, he's going to go into fatigue and whatnot, too. Like
Blade Flurry. Yeah, Blade Flurry. It's going to do 4 damage, yep, so it's not quite enough to finish off Alakir, which is pretty unfortunate. Eviscerate to the face. Let's see what he draws. He's almost out of time, too. That's another key thing here.
Oh man.
SI7 agent. The thing is that he doesn't know he's dead yet. He doesn't know his opponent.
Yeah,
has
he's
Doomhammer.
got to go through with it, but
Yeah, he's thinking to himself. He's like, all right, I still have a chance, maybe, but no. I mean, there's so many things his opponent could do to kill him. Fire Elemental, Lightning Bolt, Doomhammer. There's a lot that could kill Skip this turn. So I'm thinking he's probably expecting he's dead either way.
No doubt. It's pretty hard to imagine a shaman that can't kill you right here. So
yeah, and there you go. Killed by Thrall with the Doomhammer. It's lore appropriate.
well,
now he's just showing off, I guess. Yeah, there we go. GG, and it looks like Xixo will tie up the series. Awesome. We're going to Game 5. Alright guys, it's time to look at game number 5 now between Xixo and Skip. Skip's bringing out the mid-range hunter, which is like the bane of everybody's existence on the ladder right now.
It's the only deck that people play.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's the only deck.
It is. There was a time where like this was Warlock Zoo, but like I feel like it's like a return to when Unleash used to be ridiculously overpowered and everyone played Hunter then too. Like Hunter is one of those classes that like everyone will play.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I don't play Hunter.
No, you don't play any Hunter. It's actually really weird.
No Hunter, no Priest.
The deck is really good. You should give it a try.
I know it's good, but I just
it's a really good deck, man. And the thing is, Hunter generally is pretty good against Shaman, and this is like still pretty aggressive. Yeah, it's mid range, but it's got its Leroy, right?
Shaman's whole thing
got a lot of damage.
Well, yeah, I mean, Shaman's whole thing is about getting stuff on the board and keeping it there, right? Card efficiency is like a big theme with Shaman, and then you've got this Hunter deck, which through Unleash the Hounds and other combos, like directly takes advantage of what Shaman is made to do. So. Yeah, it's not really going to be the best matchup, I think, for Xixo. You could still take it, you never know, but...
He's got some good things in here, right? Like, he's got Harrison Jones to help deal with the weapon, he's got Earth Shock.
It's only one weapon, though, so...
Oh, that's right, he is only playing one.
Because he's only running 2 freezing traps, so...
Yeah, and just one Mad Scientist. Oh, it's a... Still, I mean, that could be useful, and... You know, he does have the Earth Shock and he has the Hexes, and if you Hex the Savannah High mains, that's... You're on your way to something good, I guess.
True enough. You know, I worry though for Xixo because I wonder if his final deck is actually going to be like Miracle Rogue or something, and then he's gonna have to play that into mid-range Hunter with like 2 flares. That'd be a little bit scary.
Well, you know, we'll see if that's gonna be the case. But
we'll see.
As of right now, who do you think takes this one?
I think you got to give it to Hunter. I think Hunter's gonna have the edge. I think it, you know, like any game of Hearthstone, it could go either way, but I think the mid-range Hunter definitely is. On paper, the stronger deck in this matchup.
Alright, well, I think we should jump into this game and see how it goes.
Alright guys, game 5 time. Skip versus Xixo, Hunter versus Shaman. And you gotta be happy to see that web spinner in your opening hand there.
Yeah, he's got a freezing trap and a flare here as well.
Yep, pretty good starting out. Do you keep the freezing trap, you think?
I think I'd throw the flare 100%, and the flare, I mean the freezing trap,
I would be inclined to throw that against Shaman at least.
I'm trying to think of why it would be good, but you know, they oftentimes have little minions, and what if they roll like a Searing Totem? You're like, oh,
it's
that's
just
not
like
very useful.
Well, it's just like way too likely that you're gonna end up bouncing a totem buff by Flame Tongue Totem or something, you know, so yeah, I agree.
Well,
he's got a really good curve, though. I mean, Web Spinner into Haunted Creeper, and then he can kind of choose tracking. Oh, another Web Spinner, wow.
Well, it's quite nice, and we'll see what he gets off those. That's actually part of the fun part of Hunter now.
Oh, yeah, Hunter's so fun, man. Although, lately I've been only getting Captain's Parrot. Like, when I play the few Hunter games I do.
I get a lot of that, too. Yeah. It's actually really weird. I get a lot of that and a lot of the Beast.
I don't play Hunter on the ladder at all, but I'll play it against, like, friends from time to time, and, like, every time I get Captain's Parrot.
Now, do you play Freezing Trap here?
I would go Web Spinner Freezing Trap.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fantastic. This slows him down so much. It adds more damage on the board. Because really annoying.
If you're looking at this from Six's perspective, you're like, well, I don't really want to attack either of these creatures too much. I don't want to give him a beast. I don't want to do that. So yeah, he goes to face and he gets Freezing Trapped, and that is going to be a Harvest Golem that we may never see again.
Well, there's another one he could drop down.
He does.
Oh, is that Timberwolves? Okay.
Feral Spirit.
Yeah. Spirit Wolves. Yes, this is obviously a very good play.
Spirit Timberwolves.
He doesn't actually have any way to deal with those both.
He's going to try to draw something,
he can't do it.
Yeah.
Hunter's Mark. I mean, he can get rid of both.
He could.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah, and the thing is, against Shaman, the only thing I would really be worried about coming out after my Hunter's Marks were gone were Alakir. aside from that, everything else is fairly manageable,
Yeah,
honestly.
I guess unless you Argus up something big,
Mm-hmm.
like Fire Elemental or something, like you'll be able to punch through. But the one redeeming factor of these Hunter Marks is that he's going to get some new beasts in his hand. Maybe get something sick.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you Hunter's Mark, you attack in, see what you draw. And depending on what he gets, he'll either just hero power.
Ah!
He got another web spinner. Whoa, there we go.
Hilarious.
Yeah, well.
Imagine he just keeps getting web spinners. It's like the reverse.
I know.
If that quest, that class
playing,
quest.
Oh, we got Mexino.
A lot of people get Mexina, I feel like.
It's the first time I've seen it, but I wouldn't be surprised. I've gotten the Beast multiple times too, actually.
Oh, the Beast is always coming out.
For me, it's either the Beast or Captain's
Yeah,
Parrot.
I killed someone with a Finkel Einhorn the other day.
That's awesome. The Revenge of Finkel Einhorn.
Yeah.
He didn't like being punted.
Hey, not too bad what we're seeing here.
Yeah. All legendaries all day for Skip, I guess, from here on out.
Yeah, well, let's see here.
Do you realize he not only got Mexina, he got Golden Mexina?
It's because he had a golden web spinner.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, that's a smart thing to do. Gives you a lot of golden cards you wouldn't have originally.
It's true. All right, what's he gonna get?
Look at this card
got
efficiency,
King
by the way.
Mugla.
Wow, that actually isn't that bad.
No, I mean he can play this and he can play the bow, and let's see what he decides to do.
I actually wouldn't mind that much. I think Mexina is fine. I
think
guess
it's a
going into
stronger
a turn
turn.
6 it makes sense because he's
Yeah.
afraid of Fire Elemental. So yeah, that's actually good.
I mean, Mexina is actually one of those few creatures that can kill fire elementals straight up and live. Yeah.
And, well, you know, I guess King Mukla can kill it, but
It's pretty hilarious.
I think Mexina is actually quite strong.
I think so too.
The thing is,
It's something they have to deal with right away. So I think it's good to get out there to draw cards out of their hand and prepare the way for like Mukla and stuff like that.
if you play Mukla, he can't use the bananas next turn. So actually, that's quite nice now that I think about it.
Oh, that's true. I think that's what he's gonna do too, because he did play the bow.
He's just going for damage.
Oh wow, you're right. Yeah, he just
He
uses
has
hero
Leroy
power.
in hand. This actually makes perfect sense.
Ah, okay.
That's
Yep.
lethal next turn, right? That's 5 plus 6. It's 11.
If everything stays alive, the thing is his
no,
web
he can
spin
lose
is
everything on the board.
what?
That's 11. Hero power plus bow plus Leroy. If there's no taunt, he wins.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, no, you're totally right.
I
There's
didn't
not gonna
notice
be
that
any
until he
taunt.
did it. I'm like, oh wait, yeah.
I guess that's it then.
Yeah,
Because there's
that's
no
it.
taunt. So GG, I guess. All right. Skip is going to take this game. Here comes Leroy. If he notices, I'm sure he does. Yeah, hero power Leroy. And the weapon will do the trick. And Skip, man, the games have been fast today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, well, I guess that's game 5, guys. Well, guys, it is do or die time, and look at this. We've got a Hunter Mirror again. Skip versus Xixo. Can Skip take it?
Well,
I guess
take
with
a
this
look at
mirror,
the
you
two
never know.
decks. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to say. They're quite similar. We have an additional trap and an additional mad scientist and an additional bow in Six's deck, and that makes me kind of favor it a bit more. Of course, the flares can kind of mess up all your well-laid plans, but
That's the thing, yeah.
I really like Mad Scientist. I think he's utterly broken.
You know,
And
the thing is Mad Scientist is actually a good way to mitigate flares too.
Yeah,
because
he kind of gets rid of them.
Yeah, if you get Mad Scientists out there, that's a flare that's a trap anyway that you can play without really playing the mana cost. And so if they flare it, you know, you're not really down as far as your mana curve goes. So it's an interesting thing to kind of consider. And again, we have to go back to that same rule that we always go back to, that usually in CCGs, the slightly slower deck will win.
Yeah, okay, well, as far as this goes, is this deck slightly slower?
I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty similar overall, but yeah, you might be right. I mean, it's got a little bit more traps to sit back on and whatnot, but...
Yeah, I think so. I think it doesn't come at you with, you know, as many creatures as fast, so...
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Sixa just slightly, but of course, you know, anything can happen in this. It's really going to come down heavily to the draws as
I mean, yeah, you can go by the books, and like on paper, yeah, you have to give that tiny edge to Sixa, but again, you know, it's a mirror matchup, so it really could go either way. Pretty impossible to predict, so I guess we better just get in the game and see what happens.
All right, let's do it.
Alright, here we go, Game 6. We'll see if Sixa can tie it up and force that Game 7, or if Skip will close it out. And again, we had the Zoo Mirror before, now we've got the mid-range Hunter Mirror. It's going to be fun.
All right. Taking a look at these hands. Oh, I like Skip's hand a bit more for sure.
Yeah,
Loatheb
I
and
would
Kill
agree.
Command are not cards you want to see in the early game.
It's not going to do you a lot of good right off the
No.
bat. I mean, he's got a little bit of sustain with the Haunted Creeper, so he can kind of, wait things out a little bit, but he's got to get a little bit of a good draw to keep up, I think.
Yeah, well, with this tracking, he's going to be able to set up his hand a bit better, and
Oh boy.
ooh,
Oh,
that's kind of a hard
a tough
choice
one, man.
here. Like, yeah, do you...
I think it's between Animal Companion and Leroy, in my opinion. And I would go for Animal Companion at this stage in the game. I hate to give up Leroy, but yeah, I agree.
I have to agree with that completely.
That hurts, so to lose Leroy and to kill command, that's like potentially 14... No, I can't do math at all. That's 11 damage, potentially, that you just discarded.
Well, just pretend it's at the bottom of your deck. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, that's the truth.
All right, taking a look at this. He has the bow to back up this early mad scientist.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good to see. And
it'll live though.
yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I don't think you want to
turn...
kill your opponent's mad scientist in a situation like this. You don't kill it until you're ready to set off traps as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So here's the thing: would you go for the trade? I would definitely play the Animal Companion, but I guess he's waiting to see what he'll get. If he gets Misha,
nah,
now
I
you
would
have to
say
just go to face.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't
just
give
go
him
to
two
face.
spiders. Yeah.
No, certainly not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to get rid of this.
Yeah.
I would consider a hunter's mark here, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Hunter's Mark wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, I don't really like any play here too much. Like maybe a hunter's mark, play your mad scientist, and use your hero power or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be your best turn. Yeah, and that's what he's going to be doing. Yeah, I mean, you hate to use your your Hunter's Mark specifically
on something
for this.
with 2 health.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you gotta do it at this point in the game, and especially in a mirror matchup.
Moonfire the.
Oh yeah. Man. You hate to moonfire that stuff. But you need to keep up with the tempo. I mean, it's a mirror match. You don't really have a choice in the matter, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, looking at this, he has a few different plays that he could make here, like a Haunted Creeper, Hero Power, Haunted Creeper, coin into bow. I guess part of the question is, do you kill... I feel like I would Eagle Horn Bow, attack his Mad Scientist, attack into the trap. Well, the thing is you want your Mad Scientist to die, and if it gets a freezing trap, which is very, very likely,
ooh, yeah, you're right.
then that would actually be really bad, so I'm going to go ahead and retract what I just said completely.
It's kind of a cute play, but it is a little bit risky, that's true.
Yeah, I think probably attacking in the face here is pretty solid.
Yep. Make them trade. Yeah.
But, I would definitely play the bow as well, and probably just attack into face with the bow. Because, yeah, look at this, right? Because he can easily kill your Mad Scientist and set off the trap as well. And anytime they can do those both in one turn, you want that bow out to gain the charge.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is a great turn.
I think that this was the best play for Skip, personally.
This actually gives him a really nice little life edge, too. And the thing is it's going to keep his Haunted Creeper pretty safe, I think, overall. So he's going to be able to probably Houndmaster it next turn. And so then you have a Houndmastered Haunted Creeper, they have to deal with that, and then you follow it up with Savannah Highmane. So, depending on how this turn works, and this really doesn't change much of anything, I think it's still going to be okay for Skip.
Yeah, this Lotheb is a bit annoying. He can't really play very much, but at least he can get this nice big taunt out.
Yep, you can definitely do that.
The thing is, we could have a pretty insane Unleash next turn, possibly.
Yeah.
Well, he could trade into the Lotheb, but still that's an insane Unleash.
Yeah, I think you definitely need to save things for the Unleash. Especially with the Timberwolf in the hand. You want to get ready for that. This is a weird game where, like, nobody wants to attack each other's minions. Oh, there's a flare.
Oh, this is such a good turn for him. Look at this. He can play the Unleash combo, and he can play a flare to get rid of the secret when it comes out, if he decides to actually clear that. So
no, you're right.
This is a huge turn for Xixo here.
Let's see if he goes for it. Yeah, I think you definitely attack the Haunted Creeper first because you want more minions out.
No, I like that because he needs enough room to actually play all his minions.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, no.
Because see, he draws one more card like this, and they all fit. So you got to be careful about that 7 minion rule. That was really well done.
And he's got that 1 mana left over for flares, so really good shape there. Yeah.
Just crazy.
Let's see what he draws. Web spinner, tracking, lots of good stuff. There's Leroy.
Wow, Xixo just turned this entire game around. So taking a look at this, like, do you use the flare this turn? Do you get rid of that? I could foresee him.
I think I still would. Yeah, because you leave his weapon at 1 attack.
Because you could web spinner and draw another card, but yeah.
I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah,
I think
you're right. Leave the weapon at 1 attack.
You've got enough stuff on the board. You don't need to. You don't need that web spinner out.
He can just clear everything here and still have a 5/1 and.
Tracking.
Okay.
He's probably just gonna ignore the mad scientist, I guess. Then.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
just leave that out there.
2
I
damage
guess.
to face.
Well, no, he's actually just going to go for it. Okay. Well.
I mean, I suppose the thing is, his traps again can't be activated on your own turn, right? So he doesn't need to worry about that trap going off this time. He can try to fit his flare in a little bit more comfortably next turn, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? To be honest, though, he could actually get his Lothar bounced and then replay it next turn.
Oh, that's true. Wow.
Kind of a funny type of play if something like that occurs.
It's a little bit hilarious. So if you're Skip, I mean, maybe Savannah Highmane, but I don't know. A 5/1 Lothar is going to trade into that so easily.
I think you have to play the Unleash, to be honest. And you know what? That saves your freezing trap as well to stop, anything coming in a little bit later on.
He's a little bit worried. His opponent has a trap too, and it looks like it is a freezing trap.
Yeah, I forgot that he had that because it was hidden.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, or over kind of covers over that a little bit, but he can still just play it again.
Yeah.
I guess you do. I guess you kind of have to, because you need to trade those 2 creatures with his 2 minions.
Yeah, he would draw so many more cards. He's already drawn so many, though. Maybe he wants to do something else, but, like, what would that something else be? Oh, he might just go to face. Yeah, you're right. Like, he could go kill command to face. That's 5, so it brings him to 9. The thing is, he already lost Leroy and the other kill command, so
he's got
for instant damage, he's got very little.
I wonder what trap that is. I guess with 6 it'd be freezing trap, wouldn't it? He's only got freezing traps, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
Or
yeah,
with
Skip only has freezing
Skip.
traps. Yeah.
Okay, so he does have to trade because it's not anything like explosive trap, and he's just going to hero power. Yeah. Okay.
This is that tracking. Took a lot of the guesswork out of this for Skip.
I guess so. Yeah, there's the flare to get rid of that freezing trap, and the thing is, he's already got so many cards too. You can see why Skip just didn't care about that vulture, but now he's going to care a little bit more about it. It's a 4/3 taunt vulture.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying.
Yep.
Even drops his mad scientist once again here. Not even trying to draw more cards at the moment with those web spinners.
Hunter's Mark is still out there, so he can use that with the boar. He can use that with the Unleash the Hounds token.
Yeah, that's 3 mana. That 3 mana boar.
Yep. I'd be tempted to play Savannah Highmane, boar, and then Hunter's Mark. Take out the taunt. That way I would attack into the 4/3, just leave him with that 2/2, and then have a Savannah Highmane out.
Actually, this I disagree with. What I would do is I would attack face with my weapon, because he's actually getting the point. If he plays Savannah Highmane, plays the boar, uses the Hunter's Mark on the 4/3, attacks for 3, that brings him to 9, and between the kill command in his hand, the Savannah Highmane on board, his hero power,
That's a good point.
and the Timberwolf, let's not forget as well. That's a lot of possible damage that can come out.
If the Highmane dies, the tokens plus the kill command are enough to do 9 damage.
And the Timberwolf gives them each +1.
Oh, that's a good point too.
So he's got like a lot of damage here. I think that you just keep going to face. I think Skip has the right idea with how he's been aggressive.
He's even got the way to mitigate the explosive trap as well too. He doesn't know he's going to have to face that, but he might. And he is just going to go ahead and go for that. Is he going to attack the 4/3? No, still going for face. All right.
Okay,
it's a similar thing. It's still similar, yeah.
Yeah, like 5, 6, 7 mana. So he can do 2, 7, 8, 9 next turn.
Literally all he needs to do.
He's set up lethal both ways.
Yeah, literally all he needs to do is play a minion, play a beast, and that's it. He doesn't even need to attack.
Well, unfortunately for him, he's actually just dead.
Oh, I guess so. Is he? Is he actually? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Kill command plus Leroy is a lot of damage out of nowhere.
There it is.
and
poor Leroy was discarded early on. So I guess we are going to Game 7 in this kind of wacky match. But hey, I'll take it. That's cool. Xixo ties it up. Well, this is it, guys. The final game of the night for the I Heart You King of the Hill, Xixo versus Skip, and we'll see who takes it. Skip's bringing out his Druid deck, and it is nearly identical to the Druid deck that we saw, and I believe it was game number 1, except the difference is we've got Cairn instead of Kel'Thuzad, which is way more boring in my opinion.
Way more boring. Who cares about Cairn when you have Kel'Thuzad, unless you have both, because then you get 2 Bane tokens. Or no, you get the Bane token plus you get another Cairn.
But he doesn't have both. There's no Kel'Thuzad. I would definitely take the Lich, Boss of Naxxramas, then a couple Taurens. Come on.
Yeah. Well, you know, this does make the deck a little bit quicker, which I guess is good. But Karen is like a card you don't even want to draw against this. It has like a little bit of life gain in the Ancient of Lore. I mean, he's got a lot of minions that he can get out, but you got to be careful about those combos from Xixo with the, you know, with the buzzard. So.
Got to be worried about the combos from Skip as well too. I mean, Shade of Naxxramas plus your combo, your Force of Nature Savage Roar combo later on can be a lot of damage out of nowhere. So we'll see what happens. This one's going to be interesting. Again, like Shade, not as good against a Hunter with traps too.
Yeah, that is quite true. So. Yeah. I have no idea how this one's going to go, Doa.
Well, whoever wins it is going to be the I Hearth You King of the Hill champion. We'll see if Xixo can get another win, or if Skip is going to become our new reigning King of the Hill. King.
Let's do it, Doa. Let's check out who
Game
wins.
7. Sick outro. Let's do it. Yeah. Well, this is it, guys. It is the end of the road for one of these players. Xixo versus Skip, Hunter versus Druid. We'll see whose nature rises the most against the other guy's nature, I guess. All
right, let's do that, Doa.
There you go.
As far as these starting hands go, I quite like this Hunter starting hand, to be honest. It's the I don't really care for the hand of Skip too much, but at least he has some Wraths to help deal with early minions.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he can do that on the web spinner. He can cycle it. He can also just use his hero power too. But I feel like with this hand, yeah, I definitely want to cycle with this hand.
Yeah, that hand is pretty weak.
Yeah. Shade of Naxxramas is a pretty good turn 3 play as well too, just to get that guy out there, let him just build up for a while.
As long as there's no freezing trap. Oh.
Yeah, except the thing is that like even if there is freezing trap, you don't need to play it into it. You can just like let it sit there and get big, you know, and then play something else into it later. So
we'll see if that's how it goes down.
Yeah, I feel like you still just play that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely right. You do have to play that there.
Hunter doesn't have any AoE that can take care of this except for Explosive Shot with spell power.
He has Flare, so he actually can
you're
Flare
right.
to kill it.
Oh, you're right. He's got Flare.
Oh, and he gets Leok. The one time you want Leok.
You never want Leok, except for right now. Except for when you need to buff your Haunted Creeper to kill someone's Shade of Naxxramas. Leok, you the real MVP.
But, you know, this isn't as bad as it seems, because there is a swipe he can clear the board.
Yeah, that's true,
so
too.
So kind of like, all right, they both have to, you know, brush their hands off. Okay, everything's all set. Everything's even. Start over.
Yep. There we go. Okay, so back to square one. Catch your breath for a moment, and we'll see what Xixo is going to play. I didn't see what he grabbed out of his hand. Just straight up Houndmaster, man. 4-3, but after the swipe comes out, why not? Too bad there's a card called Wrath.
That's right. Wrath going to be a pretty easy play here. Yeah, you don't really want to be taking damage. And
yeah, Wrath hero power. Yeah.
It kind of sucks. You so badly want to play a minion this turn.
Oh, totally, but they don't have any minions out.
I mean, the thing is, you look at this and you're like, well, we're coming into turn 5. There's no Savannah High Mains coming out next turn. And the fact that you played that means your hand is pretty garbage right now. So, makes sense.
I'm not too worried if I'm Skip at the moment. There's another Flare for just a straight up draw. And what's going to be? Okay, Secret. And I think that was Explosive Trap, if I remember.
That was a freezing.
It was another freezing?
Yeah,
okay,
he does have an explosive.
He has one explosive,
yeah. That's his golden freezing trap.
What a weird hand. Look at that. He's got both his vultures and both his kill commands. That's kind of funny. Unfortunately, no way to buff this Ooze right now.
Well, I think you play it anyways. I think you go Keeper and Ooze.
Yeah.
Because it's probably a freezing trap. Like, everyone's playing 2 freezing traps.
Oh, totally. And the thing is, it's like, yeah, sure, go ahead and freezing trap my Ooze. I'm just going to play it and get another token.
Yeah, later on, it
Why
definitely can occur.
Yeah,
so.
and the thing is if his Keeper gets bounced as well, too. I mean, Keeper, even at 6 mana, is still going to have some pretty good utility.
Yeah, sure. This is starting to look really good for Skip, I have to say. This is not the greatest hand. In fact, he's going to have to do the double Vulture play.
I think so.
When you have to do this play, you're not feeling good about yourself.
This hurts, man.
And he doesn't have enough mana to even do anything really
Tracking.
with it.
He needs to draw like a boar or something, but I don't think he has boars. He has no boars in this hand.
He could have gotten a web spinner, but yeah, this is a terrible situation.
The web spinner is literally the only thing he could have drawn out of his deck because no boars. All right. So there you go. Time to pop that freezing trap.
Interesting that he attacks in like that first. I guess if it was like a snake trap, his opponent draws 6 cards.
With 2 buzzards out there, man, you cannot risk that. No way can you risk that. And I think you just draw 2 guards here, of course. You can still clear the board.
Kill the buzzards for sure. Oh.
Yep. Yeah, totally. Still killed the buzzards.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you're right. I'm just looking at that Savager. I'm like, well, that's a lot of damage coming up. And in
Next
fact, next
turn-
turn he can kill him.
Next turn you've got the Innervate, so
That's
you can
11
do
plus
the
14.
combo.
That's
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's 25.
Wait, hold up. It's
oh wait, no, yeah, you're right. It's
Yeah.
No, wait, it's
Wait, no.
Okay.
I didn't say it could kill him. I just meant it was a good combo.
No, yeah, he can't quite kill him yet, but
Yeah.
on turn 9 he definitely will be able to kill him based on what this board looks like.
I like how in the gold version of the Haunted Creeper, the leg just kind of moves, but it doesn't really move naturally. It just sort of like ticks back and forth.
Yeah. It's
Oh
a
boy.
very creepy spider, no doubt.
That's right. Time to silence. And
Yes, oh man.
yeah.
I think you
do
let him
this.
draw as many cards as you want. I think you play this, play your 4-cost Echoing Ooze.
Yeah.
I like it actually.
Sure, why not?
Because the next turn, like, it doesn't matter what your opponent does. He already used both the vultures.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares if he goes for the hounds? He can't kill you.
He doesn't have enough, like, even with Timberwolf to really do much about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, Timberwolf would be pretty good. But no, you would still get 2 tokens from the Haunted Creeper. So, yeah, you're totally fine. Skip is very, like, exaggerated with his mouse movements, man. He,
He
like,
certainly
you
is.
really know what he's thinking because he's, like, frantically moving his mouse over something. Well, there's the Unleash, but as Piccolo once said in Dragon Ball Z, it doesn't make a bit of difference, guys.
Did Piccolo really say that?
He did. He followed up with the balls are inert, which doesn't really apply here, but the first part does, so...
Okay.
Thought I'd really, you know, he needs the first part of it.
Wonderful.
It's okay.
Well said, Don.
Thank you.
Well,
And this is it. We
I mean,
know.
it's a lot of damage to face, so that's nice.
Yeah, 6 is dead. He just doesn't even know it yet.
I think he knows it. To be
Yeah,
honest.
he's-
Look at
okay,
that
he
board.
should know it. He should know it.
Yeah.
He doesn't technically know it, but deep in his heart, he knows it. And now it's confirmed, man. You don't even need all those tokens.
No, certainly not.
Not enough
That's
room in
a
the forest for
lot
all
of
those trees.
damage, and it looks like Xixo will be dethroned after just 1 victory. I thought he was going to go a lot farther than that, but Skip has shown some great play and great deck.
Oh yeah, I like to see new champions, and we see one today. Skip takes. Well, guys, that is it. The end of the I Heart You King of the Hill for this week. It looks like Skip is going to be our new champion, and you know, I feel like it's been a while since we've had a champion get unseated after just like 1 week.
It has
you know?
been. Everyone's so good right now that
Yeah.
they're holding on, but you know, Six is a great player. I'm sure we'll have him back at some point on the King of the Hill. You know, some really great decks out of both sides here. I love these new decks. I love how much Echoing Ooze is being used.
Well, we're in such a great time for Hearthstone in general right now because there's so many new decks being made. The meta's changing like on an hourly basis.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the I Heart You King of the Hill for the next few months is probably going to be pretty volatile.
Pretty fantastic to see.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Skip from MYM. Sixa, good play, but unfortunately
GG.
you are out here after Game 7.
Yep, some weird mirrors, and that's kind of all it takes sometimes. And yeah, so Skip's a new champion. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been fun to cast. I feel like it's been longer than it has. It's been a pretty short show, but all the games were like really quick today.
Yeah. The longest game was the Hunter vs. Hunter. Didn't expect that one.
Strange, yeah. All right, well, I guess that's it for us. Doa Nartosis here for IR3.com. Check out the website, forums, all that stuff, guides, articles, tons of fun. And we'll see you next week on the I Heart You King of the Hill. Thanks for watching.